going on, everyone? Ooh, I'm not positioned here. DSP here, and welcome to the weekend preview. And by the time you're watching this, it's going to be April 3rd, 2012, and I apologize that the weekend preview is late this week. I mean, obviously, it makes more sense for this to come out on Sunday or even late Monday. But unfortunately, there were some delays this week, and I'm going to explain exactly why this happened. Basically, there were a couple of events going on that, especially regarding Project 7, where I was trying to figure out what is going on specifically with the series, what our status was, and I wanted to let everyone know, but when I made this video, what was exactly going on with Project 7. In addition to that, Wrestlemania was Sunday, so I was already busy till after 11 o'clock, so really I didn't have time to make the video, and then today I was busy playing games. So anyway, as usual, let's do what we do best here. We're going to recap what I did in the past week, and if you have not been up on what I did in the past week, I definitely recommend you listen, because apparently YouTube's been fucking up again. A lot of people weren't aware that I did a couple certain things this past week, so definitely, listen up to the recap. And then I'm going to explain a little bit about something that happened with co-op with myself and John Rambo on Saturday that no one knows about, but I'll explain that. And then I'll talk about what I'm going to be doing in the rest of this coming week. But keep in mind that I am taking some time off, which we will talk about in this video. Okay, something fell somewhere, probably upstairs. Anyway, that's funny. It's like loud crashing noises upstairs. Okay, so last week, what did I do? Well, started out the week with, it was a free week, meaning there was no set games coming out. There was nothing that I had to absolutely play at a certain time. And so I said, I'm going to try to get through a couple games this week. I didn't want to just play one game or not even finish one game. I wanted to try to get through a couple games. So I started the week with Blades of Time, which actually wasn't that bad of a game. I think that a lot of the mainstream media, a lot of the people who had talked about the game, because keep in mind, last week also I didn't play any new games. It was games that I was backed up on. So some people had already played these games. It wasn't like they were brand new. And I think this game got a really bad rap. The game actually isn't that bad. The combat can be competitive, but as you get later into the game, the combat actually gets a lot more varied, using the time mechanic to make a clone of yourself to fight certain enemies. The puzzles are interesting, the story is interesting, the graphics are really good. So the thing that kind of startled me was I played this game for 2 days, and basically the views were abysmal, to which I kind of had an open question to everyone, what's going on, and the reply was one of two things. Either people had this conception that the game was boring, or only watched one part and thought that one particular part was boring and stopped watching. And that is unfortunate in a game like that, because at the beginning of the game it was kind of repetitive. Later on in the game it got a lot better, and if you didn't continue to watch you wouldn't know that, and I think a lot of people gave up on that. But the other thing is, a lot of people just basically said that they've been backed up on my video, especially a lot of the longer playthroughs that I had done most recently, including Mass Effect 3. I just played other games such as Ninja Gaiden 3, Silent Hill Downpour. So there were these playthroughs that people were already trying to catch up with. They hadn't had a chance, and so with this new game, because it was an older game, it was a filler game, they just decided to skip it. So it is what it is. The playthrough was complete, and the playthrough I think is pretty good, and the Hateful Truth review of that game is up as well, so check that out. So then after that, I said, let me do something that maybe, I think fans might like a little bit better, even though it wasn't necessarily the game that I was going to play next. I said, let me rearrange my priorities a little bit. So I rearranged them, and I played Silent Hill 2 of the HD collection next. Now, I had never played Silent Hill 2 before, and it was completely new for me, a new experience, and I enjoyed the game a lot. I even went as far to say that I think it is tied in my mind as the best as the best survival horror game ever. It's tied with Resident Evil 1 in my mind. The plot was just outstanding. The psychological horror of the stuff going on, and your realization of what these creatures are that you're fighting and what's going on around you. It's real horror. It's a horror in your mind. You know what I mean? It's not like jump scare horror, gore horror. It's just in your mind. You're like, oh my god, you're horrified at the things that you're seeing and realizing are happening. And so I played that full playthrough of that game, plus there actually was a very small mini campaign that was an added bonus added onto the collector's edition, or a director's cut of the game, that they included in the HD remake as well, and I played through that. And then I gave, not necessarily a Hateful Truth review, but it was a special video on my thoughts about Silent Hill 2, now that I had played the game that most people kind of revere as one of the best survival horror games of all time. And I think a lot of people enjoyed hearing my thoughts about the game. So you can check that out as well if you would like. Then, on Saturday, John Rambo came over and we filmed a pre-WrestleMania version of Smart Guys, which is our wrestling commentary show. That's over on his channel, John Rambo Presents, sorry. And then we decided to simulate 6 of the matches that were about to take place at WrestleMania 28 on that Sunday in WWE 12. And let me tell you, some of the matches didn't get a lot of views, but the main event, John Cena versus The Rock, has something like 38 to 40,000 views. People really loved our simulation. Some people actually said our simulation was better than the real match, which is kind of messed up, but it is what it is. So you can check those simulation matches out. Plus, we simulated 5 bonus matches, 5 of the most legendary WrestleMania matches of all time. So we're talking Ultimate Warrior Hogan, you know what I mean? From WrestleMania, I believe that was 8. We're talking Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think that was WrestleMania 16, 13, one of those. So those are the kind of matches we're talking about. And we did 5 of those. Those are also up here. And then here's what I want to talk about, one thing that no one knows about, but I want to clear the air. As you know, over the past month and a half, John Rambo and I, when we've been doing co-op gameplay, we've been doing X-Men Legends for the PlayStation 2. And apparently the last time that we played it, we finally got to the final stage of the game, and so we were going to resume that on Saturday. We were actually going to finish the game. We had about an hour and a half. We said we could probably beat it in that time. You'll never believe what happened, okay? After, what is it, like 80-something parts of gameplay of this game, we put the game back in, we start playing, so we go to, you know, it's a console, I think it's called the War Room or whatever, to activate the next mission. The cutscene plays with everyone talking, and then as it goes to what's supposed to be the full motion video, the game freezes. And we tried absolutely everything to get the game to pass this point, and it won't. We tried cleaning the disc, we tried turning the PlayStation over. We tried smacking the PlayStation when it got to that part. We tried using 2 different models. That's right, I have the old model and the newer model of the PlayStation 2. Tried both of those. Neither of those worked. So apparently there's something wrong with the disc. I did buy it used, obviously. It's a very old game. 2004, so it's 8 years old. Apparently there's something wrong with the disc at the end of the fucking game. So John Rambo's like determined that he wants to beat it at some point. And I said, John, listen, at this point, number 1, we've been playing that game for so fucking long, people were bored of it. They wanted to see us do other stuff. Number 2, I don't feel like going out and spending more money for the last stage of the game only. But he's like, no, we're going to beat it eventually. We're going to beat it. So there's a possibility that in the future we'll try to find that game again or get our hands on it. And hopefully another copy will actually boot. But unfortunately, that playthrough, where it ends right now, it's dead in the water, to be continued or to be determined at a later date whether we even continue it, okay? So then on Sunday, this is what I wanted to bring up specifically because I don't think a lot of people knew about this, even though I had mentioned it on Twitter, I mentioned it in the weekend preview, I'd mentioned it everywhere, but on Sunday I did an April Fool's special. I always do this every single year, and this year was no exception. Is fucking, let me put it to you this way. The feedback I got, the amount of comments on every video, people loved this series. They think it's, some people said it's definitely the funniest April Fools I've ever done, okay? And so what you have to understand is during this series, I'm basically saying the opposite of what I mean. So I'm praising certain games, it means that they really suck, but it's April Fools, so I'm pretending like they're really good. And so I played through them as a 7-part series of the best music video games of all time. You should definitely check it out if you didn't see it. A lot of people messaged me and said, Phil, this never showed up in my sub box, so I didn't know. I'm tired of saying you can't rely on YouTube. You cannot rely on YouTube to update your fucking one page with everything. And I'm sorry to say that. You know, if you're a fan of mine and if you're a viewer of mine, you know that every day I have something new up. And if I don't, it's extremely rare. So if you want to be up on my content, don't fucking look at the dumb fucking homepage or whatever it is, the subscription page. Check my channel daily. Just go to my channel once a day. You'll see what's new right there. I know it's going out of your way. It's an exception because a lot of other people only upload a couple videos a week, and so if you only check your homepage once a week, you see all the videos. For me, it doesn't work because YouTube sucks and doesn't fucking work properly. So, please check out those videos. the reason I'm saying that, I'm a little disappointed because I put a lot of work into them, and I'll be honest, the April Fool's series is something I think about all year what I'm going to do. In this particular case, it was 3 separate games that I had to find over the course of the past year by going to gaming conventions and buying these games, and it's an undertaking to do this, especially when it involves the Sega CD, because that thing's a pain in the fucking ass to hook up to anything and get to work properly. And then, you know, I think about what I'm going to say when I'm doing these, and, you know, it's very hard to do deadpan comedy and say the opposite of what you mean if you really think a game sucks and you're basically praising it. So it was really hard for me to do those videos. I put a lot of work into them, and the views aren't very good. I think the highest viewed one is like 22,000 views. Now you would think, for a normal playthrough of mine, usually part 1 gets anywhere from 20 to 40 or 50,000 views, and then sure, it trails off from there. Why is it these videos can't even get, you know what I mean? They can't get 20 to 30,000 views each. It's like blowing my mind that people don't think this is hilarious, especially because there's a lot of people that say, oh, Phil, you put out too much content and it's quantity over quality. That's what it should be. Or, yeah, quantity over quality, and so your quality goes down when you put out so many videos. In this case, these are videos that I put a lot of hard work into, and now I don't seem to, like, no one seems to be, you know, the people that watch it love it, but not everyone's watched them, and it is disappointing to me. I wish more people would open up and say, oh, look, a new series, let me go check it out, rather than, oh, what's this, Phil playing some stupid old game, fuck this, and not even giving it a chance, because I think it's some of the funniest videos I've done. So, if you have not checked out the April Fools, check it out. If you like it, spread the word, because I get the feeling people, like, some people don't know what it is. Some people may not even know what April Fool's Day is. Some people maybe, you know, were busy. Some people just don't, they check their soapbox, I didn't see it, so your video must not exist. So please spread the word on that series, okay? So now on Sunday, I actually watched Wrestlemania 28 live, and I was in the chat room on my website, thekingofhate.com, chatting it up with the fans. There were over 80 people in there at one time, so we had a lot of fun just talking and chatting and doing commentary during WrestleMania 28, so thank you to everyone who joined me for that. Every year, usually I do that. It's the second year in a row I've done it. I announced I was going to do it on the Weekend Preview previously, so that's another reason to watch these videos and pay attention. You would have known that you could have chatted with me in the chat room during WrestleMania 28. But anyway, that was fun. And so now let's get to this week, what's coming up. Today, obviously, you already know what happened. Today I started Yakuza Dead Souls, and I actually enjoyed the game a lot. I'm actually really enjoying it. I think that this is a game that a lot of people are going to overlook, because a lot of people see the name Yakuza and think that it's all about the Yakuza plot line, you know what I mean? This is a long-standing line of games, but also the game came out at a bad time. There were a lot of other mainstream games that came out that week that it came out, and I think a lot of people passed it up. It's a really good game. I'm having a lot of fun with it, even though it does cookie-cutter copy a lot of shit from like Left 4 Dead and Resident Evil. I'm enjoying it. The characters are unique. The story is pretty good. The monsters, the boss battles have been fun. So it's definitely an interesting playthrough. I'm really looking forward to digging into this game more this week. So that's up right now. What I want to let everyone know, let me give you the schedule for the rest of the week. Okay? Tuesday, myself, John Rambo, and Howard are meeting, and we're going to try to write a lot of, if not all of, Episode 4 of Project 7. And I know you're going to say, what about Episode 3? We'll get to that, okay? So we're going to try to write most of Episode 4 of Project 7. Might be scoping out filming locations. So for half the day, we're going to be busy. Also, before John leaves, we're going to film a special edition of Smart Guys, a post-WrestleMania 28 edition, where we're going to go through every match of what happened at WrestleMania and what we thought about it. And then we're also going to talk about Raw, which is actually, I'm recording this while Monday Night Raw is still on right now, so we'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. So check that out. It'll be up an abnormal day on John Rambo's page. John Rambo presents on Tuesday, Smart Guys, and follow our Twitter accounts. We always tweet when those are going up, so check that out, okay? Then I'll be continuing the Yakuza Dead Souls playthrough, and that's what you're going to see for the majority of this week. You're going to see Yakuza Dead Souls pretty much every day. Monday already passed already, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And so that is going to probably round it out for gameplay this week. Here's what to expect this weekend. I am taking some time off. As I've been doing around once a month, I do it now. Spending some time with Panda Lee, my girlfriend, for my birthday, which is actually Friday, April 6th, and for the holiday weekend, you know, it's Easter weekend. And so you're probably not going to see any gameplay footage Friday on. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you'll probably see no gameplay footage at all, okay? Now, I got in contact with Respect the Pack, and to give everyone completely honest perspective on what's been going on. Respect the Pact doesn't only work on Project 7. They have their own series going on. They have their own lives. What they do with the Respect the Pact stuff isn't actually what they do for work. This is their side hobby. Similar to my YouTube career used to be a side thing for me, and it wasn't my full focus. Well, Respect the Pact, that YouTube channel isn't their full focus, but they put a lot of time into it. They do game playthroughs. They do their own video series. Okay, plus they actually do filming for stuff outside of that. That's for money, for paid jobs. Plus, they have their own day jobs, so they're really busy guys. And they're working on Episode 3 of Project 7, but we didn't get a definitive answer when it was going to be ready. We were hoping to get it ready for this coming weekend. So, finally, after speaking with them, I got a response, and here's the response. They could rush this week and try to push it to Episode 3 and try to get it done for this weekend, but chances are things will be rushed, you know what I mean? They won't be able to take as much time on it as they want to make it great. And so I said, you know what? Take the time. Give it the extra week, okay? What we're going to do is I'm going to get some footage of what they've worked on already about the middle of this week. And so this weekend, when I'm busy, having personal time off and there's no gameplay footage, I'm going to put out some trailers, probably at least one, if not two trailers for Episode 3 of Project 7, because I want to get it hyped up. I want you to get a taste of what it's going to be like. And it is, again, it's different from the past 2 episodes. And we really haven't been talking about it much recently, so a lot of people probably, it wasn't even in their minds. This will be a cool way to gain attention and refresh everyone that it is coming, okay? So, this weekend you're going to see 2 trailers for Episode 3 of Project 7. The only gameplay you may see is that actually Connect Star Wars comes out this week. And I'm not going to drop Yakuza to start playing Connect Star Wars, I'll be honest. But it may be a fun thing to mess around with when Panda Lee's here. Maybe we'll do some co-op gameplay of that with picture-in-picture. Or maybe she'll do commentary while I do it and such. I don't know. But that's the only possibility of any gameplay we're probably going to do this weekend. I don't feel like starting any other new games or anything like that. We actually have plans to do stuff that isn't involving gaming. So, you won't see any gameplay footage, but you will see these trailers for Project 7 Episode 3 this weekend, and a very, very small chance of gameplay, okay? So that's what's happening this weekend. We're going to set the release date for Episode 3. We're going to push it back a week from our estimate, so it's going to be April 14th. We're going to estimate will be the release day of Episode 3. If anything changes between now and then, I'll let you know, but I think that's going to give Respect the Pact more than enough time to finish up and to do a really great job on it, rather than try to rush through it this last minute and get all the effects and everything done. I don't think that's a good thing to do to the series. For 1 week's time, if it's going to make the episode that much better, it makes sense to say, let's give it the extra week's time. So April 14th, Episode 3 of Project 7 will release. We'll get ready for some fun trailers this weekend, okay? And then I'll be back probably Monday like I usually do. I don't know if I'll have time for gameplay, but definitely with the weekend preview explaining what's coming up for next week. I've got some interesting plans. Now remember, Xenoblade Chronicles comes out on Friday this week. Obviously I'm not going to start it then. That's a possibility to start next week. So there's a lot of stuff I'm bouncing around in my head of what I'm going to do next week. And I'll be talking about that in the weekend preview next week. So, bottom line, this week, lots of Yakuza gameplay, special Smart Guys tomorrow on John Rambo Presents, and some Project 7 Episode 3 trailers coming this weekend, and the weekend preview on Monday. Okay? So that's it for this week. Again, I want to reiterate, watch the April Fool's special if you haven't watched it. You won't be sorry. It's really fucking funny. Everyone who's watched it loves it. I haven't gotten any negative feedback. Everyone who's watched it loves it. Problem is, I think a lot of people just didn't watch it because they either didn't know what it was, didn't know it existed, or said they were busy with other stuff. Take the time out to watch it. It's really good, okay? Thanks a lot. This has been the Weekend Preview, and I will see you for more gameplay this week. Peace.